All right, let's dive into something that is frankly going to save you a massive amount of time. We're talking about using Gemini's AI right inside of Google Forms. We're going to see how you can go from just a basic idea to a full-blown survey and then all the way to real, actionable insights in just a few minutes. It's a total game changer for anyone who needs to gather feedback.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You desperately need feedback, but just the thought of writing every single question from scratch and then facing that mountain of messy, open-ended text responses, it's enough to make you just put it off. It's a huge time sink. But what if that whole headache could just go away?
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the old way on the left, the slow, manual, kind of painful process we're all used to. And then on the right, you have the new way. Instead of writing questions, you write one simple prompt. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out what people mean, you get instant AI summaries. We're talking about trading all that frustration for pure efficiency.
So how does this AI assistant actually work? Let's get into the first big piece of the puzzle, completely reimagining how a survey even gets built in the first place.
So the brain behind all of this is Gemini, which is Google's advanced AI. Inside of Forms, it basically plays two roles for you. First, it's your creative assistant that writes the entire survey, and then, once you get responses, it becomes your data analyst, doing all the heavy lifting for you. Actually getting it to build the survey is ridiculously easy. When you open up a new form, you're going to see this Help Me Create a Form option. That little box is where the magic happens. You just type in a description of the survey you want, hit Create, and watch as the AI builds a whole draft for you pretty much instantly.
Now this is maybe the most important thing to remember when you're working with any AI. What you get out is only as good as what you put in. So the more specific you are in your prompt, telling it the topic, who you're asking, how many questions, what kind of questions, the better and more tailored that final survey is going to be.
Here is a perfect example of what a great prompt looks like. See how it's not just make a survey for my shop, it gets specific. It wants 8 questions, a mix of different types, and it's for a very specific topic. This is the kind of detail that helps the AI nail it on the first try. And here's another one, but for a totally different use case, an internal employee survey. It's even calling out the audience, a remote technology team, and asking for Likert scale questions. The whole strongly agree to strongly disagree thing. It just goes to show how flexible this is, whether you're talking to customers or your own team.
Okay, so making the survey is lightning fast. That's awesome. But honestly for me, this next part is the real game changer. Let's look at how Gemini takes all that raw, messy data and turns it into actual insights you can use instantly.
So you get a response like this. It's fantastic feedback, right? You've got some praise, you got a critique, and a really specific suggestion. In the old days, you'd have to read this, maybe put it in a spreadsheet, tag it with things like shipping, quality, colors. Now, just imagine doing that a few hundred times. No thank you. Well, instead of you doing any of that, the AI does the first pass. It immediately analyzes the sentiment across all the responses and gives you this beautiful high-level overview. So right away, you know things are mostly positive. That's a crucial metric, and you didn't have to lift a finger to get it. And this is the money shot. This is the magic. The AI takes all those individual comments and boils them down into a super clear summary. It pulls out the key themes, it flags the most common suggestions, and it even quantifies things for you, telling you that, hey, 65% of people brought up fast delivery. This isn't just data anymore, it's practically a to-do list handed to you on a silver platter. Now, just a quick technical note for this analysis part to kick in. You do need to have somewhere between 3 and 200 text responses for any specific question. It's a pretty wide range, so it should work for most of the surveys you'd be running. Okay, we know how to make a survey, we know how to analyze it. Now let's talk about how to really be a power user. How to get the absolute best results while also understanding the tool's current limits.
So these are your best practices for sure. We've already talked a lot about writing detailed prompts, but just as important is to always review and edit what the AI gives you. Treat it like a first draft. And maybe most importantly, be smart about privacy. Don't put any sensitive or confidential info into the prompt window.
And it's also good to know what the current limitations are. Right now, it works best for simple one-page forms, and it can't go back and edit a survey you've already made. And it's mostly a desktop thing for now. The big takeaway here is to just double-check the AI's work. Think of it as a brilliant but junior assistant. It gives you an incredible head start, but you're still the boss.
Okay, let's just pull back for a second and think about what this really means for how we listen to our customers, our employees, anyone really.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this changes everything. That whole feedback loop,
From having a question in your head to getting real, deep analysis, that whole process has been compressed from what used to take days, maybe even weeks, down to a matter of minutes. That kind of speed lets you be so much more nimble and responsive. And that really leads to the big question, doesn't it? When you get to skip all those boring, tedious hours of building and analyzing surveys, what could you do with that time instead? What are the bigger, more interesting problems you could be solving with all those hours back in your week? It's really exciting stuff, and it puts some seriously powerful tools into everybody's hands. I hope this gave you a good look at what's possible. For more topics like this, feel free to visit our website, Forest Solution.